BCC's Claire Walker, co-executive director, has been listening to the announcements around spending this morning. I'm pleased to say she's with us. Claire, good to speak to you.
Good morning.
Let's deal first then, as my colleague mentioned it, the spending pledges. We heard from the Chancellor about investing in road and bus infrastructure and the like. I'm guessing you welcome that. What would you like to add?
So absolutely, some welcome noises coming here this morning from the Chancellor. Good to see some of those infrastructure pledges having some more detail on the bone, seeing which of those roads will be invested in, and also a critical issue of potholes. Many of our members do talk about it, so it's good to see some of that progress. Also pleased to see the digital infrastructure also getting a bit of a boost. It's an area that many of our members call on. 5G is something that really affects rural and local productivity. So these are all good steps. However, there are some big infrastructure projects such as HS2 and Heathrow new runway, which still have question marks over, and we would like to see more information on those.
So high-speed rail and new runways of interest. Of course, it wouldn't be a Conservative Party conference, I don't think, without talking about holes in roads and which ones are going to be resurfaced first, but we'll leave that to the conference hall and the members behind us. Claire, let me ask you about no deal. We heard from the Chancellor this morning, Sajid Javid, that nobody really knows, he said, the exact cost of no deal, and in fact there does seem to be some uncertainty about what exactly would happen. But what are your members telling you they're concerned about when it comes to no deal?
I mean, I think we have been consistent that on calling for the government to avoid a messy and disorderly Brexit. We really would like to see a negotiated exit from the EU, and we believe that would be in the best interest of the economy and the businesses that we serve. Businesses are still lacking the information that they need to plan. The British Chambers of Commerce have a dashboard, 36 issues that need to be addressed in terms of a no-deal exit for business. 31 of those are at amber or red still. So there is improvements in the information out there, but this is going to cause real problems for business in terms of logistics, who they can hire, and many of those questions are still not resolved.
So if you're doing business in the UK and you send anything across the Northern Ireland border into the Republic, or you hire from the EU, these are key areas of uncertainty to which you just don't have answers at the moment.
Absolutely, no answers in some of those areas, and in particular you highlighted the Northern Ireland issue, and many businesses there simply do not have any information on what to plan for what is 31 days ahead. So really very, very difficult. And many businesses are making the decisions that are the right things for businesses, moving operations overseas or setting up other offices, but they might not be the right things for the UK economy as a whole. And we are seeing investment dropping, and this is a symptom of this uncertainty.
Some who want to push for an exit regardless on October the 31st suggest that a clean break is something to be something that would be easier to achieve than the lingering uncertainty of Brexit. What would business say about that?
Well, I think there are some businesses that believe that, and I have some sympathy. You know, it's 3.5 years on from the referendum, but the vast majority of businesses don't want to see a no-deal exit. And the reason they don't is it's not a clean break. What it means is that we have to negotiate lots of little deals, and in fact actually would be far more complicated in many ways than a negotiated exit and a transition period for businesses to adjust to change. Business can adjust to anything, but actually the number of different outcomes needed from a no-deal exit would be hugely complicated.
I was reading some research by Allianz, one investor this morning, talking about how they're getting signals from the gilt market that suggests the UK is heading into a long sustained stagnation. Would that be to overplay or underplay the risks to the UK economy right now?
I mean, we do our own quarterly economic survey. I mean, it has been a really difficult Q1, Q2. We saw a bit of evidence of stockpiling. We're going into Q3, and I think we are seeing both Brexit wins but also the global headwinds are starting to really impact on the economy. So we really do need to see many things from this government. We need to see a strong plan to have a negotiated exit. We need to see that at the party conference this week. We also need to see the Chancellor working on infrastructure. Yes, very, very important to all of our members. But we also need to see his plans for boosting investment in the economy and taking away some of the upfront costs for our businesses.
What is your thinking on stockpiling? We saw at the end of March that some businesses did stockpile, and as you say, that had an impact then on Q1 and Q2 numbers. Do you sense that businesses are taking this deadline just as seriously and stockpiling to the same extent?
I think we hear really mixed things. I think some businesses will, particularly the larger ones and those that trade internationally, will have maintained the level and the seriousness around this deadline. For some businesses, they may have made an investment around the March deadline, and then they're a little bit concerned or slightly more sceptical around how much investment they put in for this October deadline. So there's a mixed picture. What we're encouraging is businesses to prepare for all scenarios, but that does have a cost, and we need to make sure that businesses are supported to do that.